hope you enjoy the show, and incidentally, have a handkerchief handy. If you're like me, you're not only going to laugh a lot, but you're going to shed a few happy tears.
This is why we used to watch Disney. Disney made us laugh, painted wonder, gave us comic, magical metaphors of our own internal lives. It foresaw the dangers of adulthood, and then it packaged them in tales that moved us, saw us, and showed us lost souls searching in worlds built on dreams. Then, the dreaming died. Now Disney replaces wonder with spectacle, curiosity with corporate strategy, meaning with merchandise, and emotion with quips that are neither funny nor insightful.
Did you guys rob an Asgardian construction worker?
Yeah.
Disney, as a factory of dreams, is dying. But this isn't the first time. Because the story of Disney is one of birth, death, and reinvention repeated over and over and over. So to understand what went wrong, we start at the beginning. The Disney Dream Engine is built by a man and a mouse. Mickey first appears in Steamboat Willie. It's the first major post-produced sound cartoon, and immediately it hits. More Mickey cartoons follow, with Disney even voicing the mouse himself.
Huh? Yeah, it's me, I guess.
Then, in Snow White, Disney evolves the multi-plane camera. The system captures multiple drawings at different distances to create depth in a single shot. And not only is Disney inventing on the fly, he's risking everything.
I didn't know what I had or what would happen or anything. We had the family fortune. We had everything wrapped up in Snow White. The banker, I think, was losing more sleep than I was.
Luckily, Snow White was also a success. After re-releases and adjusting for inflation, the film made over $1 billion.
I said, how do you do?
How do you do what?
Then Pinocchio and Fantasia bombed. And for Disney,
Yeah, that about did it. Artistic success, financial failure.
compounded by new production costs and a strike which cut 300 animators, the studio was in the red and Disney experienced its first ever death. It took 9 years from 1941 to 1950 for Disney movies to return to form. But when Disney came back, it came back fast. Cinderella made a killing, Walt expanded into theme parks, and the glory days of Disney began. The company made hit after hit, and not only were its movies successful, they gave us stories rich with meaning. Stories which found a home in kids and adults. Stories of cruelty, curses, capture, escape, and hope. Disney didn't coddle us, it let us feel the danger of the world and prepare ourselves for it. Then, in '66, Walt Disney died. This accelerated the company's second death. Live-action films outcompeted Disney, and the company cut its animation staff from 500 to 125 employees. In fact, after Walt Disney's death, it took 18 years and a new CEO for the company to start consistently making great movies again. This period, known as the Disney Renaissance, started with The Little Mermaid and followed with back-to-back tales of castaways and outsiders, of characters unseemly and wild, people abandoned, neglected and shunned, who by story's end proved their worth. Then, around the turn of the century, 3D animation ended the Renaissance. But Disney, still willing to innovate, doubled down on 3D. It co-produced Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo, and then it bought Pixar and doubled down again. But as the golden decade of Pixar died, Disney decided to change tact. It entered
behemoth acquisition mode.
You see, Bob Iger, who became CEO in 2005, differs from his predecessors. He's not inherently creative. He wasn't an animator, wasn't a producer. He was, in fact, a weatherman. Iger grew through the ranks at Disney and upon becoming CEO, shifted the company's strategy from property development to property acquisition.
There's always a bigger fish.
Through this, he catapulted New Disney to its peak, arguably the end of the Avengers saga. Then he bought 20th Century Fox's assets for $71 billion, and this made Disney a colossus. A colossus which, to date, holds over 200 subsidiaries. So Disney doesn't just make movies, it builds movies which carefully cohere to its strategy. But recently, the strategy hasn't worked for cinema. With few exceptions, recent Disney films lack the meaning and emotion that drew people to them for 100 years. They're not defined by humanity, they're not defined by wonder, they're defined by attempts to make socio-cultural change, leaving us mildly amused but ultimately empty. And one can't judge a movie by its coverage, but let's just say that what's coming does not fill us with hope. Disney used to believe in the principle that,
well, no, you have to appeal to the adult.
But now the appeal is juvenile. Where once Disney would
sort of design the films to appeal to ourselves,
we now sense that its movies are focus grouped and quantitatively analysed into existence. Disney used to make bold adaptations of folklore and cult material. Now, it lives on intertextuality. Repeating characters across movies and product types does drive income, but people are tired of it.
Great set of franchises with Pixar and Marvel, and of course Lucasfilm and Star Wars.
We want to feel the way Disney movies made us feel when there was a sense of discovery. Not like we're in the drawn-out final season of an overrun TV show that's being milked for all it's worth. As a 100-year-old behemoth, Disney must adapt. The problem is that it thinks adaptation means conforming its values to those of the endlessly fickle, endlessly outraged media mob. Iger refers to this as
maintaining relevance in a world that doesn't look anything like the world that existed when the brand was created is very, very difficult.
But by trying to stay relevant, Disney loses resonance. In the past, Disney would
never test a film beyond the studio, so I test my films with my own people.
Now it tests them against the values of the day, which corrupts storytelling. If Disney is to revive itself, it needs to
remember who you are.
That is, a maker of personal meaning, a dream engine. The dream engine used to back brilliant storytellers. It gave them its library and the vast opportunities afforded by the public domain, and then it charged them with making something new. Frozen, arguably one of the greatest recent movies, used this exact strategy. And while it can't guarantee predictable results, it can create new IP for a new generation of sequels, spin-offs, and merchandise. But this success can't happen without another Walt Disney, Pete Docter, Steve Jobs, or Jeff Katz. Someone who loves the storytelling craft and ensures it's done well, because soon Iger will retire.
Well, my plan is to stay here for 2 years.
So, is Disney as a respectable movie studio dying? Yes. Yes, it is. But after each of its past depressions, Disney rose, so there's no reason it can't again. It just needs vision, care, and someone who will
Keep moving forward.
Only then will Disney movies seize our hearts like they used to. Regardless of where Disney movies end up, they've given us guidance, memories, understanding, and hope. From humble origins, the dream engine came a long way.